The gala froze when the white CEO laughed and said, "Security, escort her out. This isn't a charity event." Every head turned. A black woman stood motionless, calm in the face of cruelty, as champagne glasses trembled with suppressed amusement. Cameras caught the moment arrogance tried to humiliate dignity. But what no one knew was that the woman she insulted didn't need an invitation. She owned the building, the company, and the future written on every contract in that room. By the time the truth came out, the mocker's empire would crumble before the applause even stopped. The ballroom shimmered with power. Crystal chandeliers reflected champagne flutes, diamonds, and deals worth billions. Laughter floated like perfume, manufactured, precise, and hollow. At the far table near the stage, a black woman sat alone. She had arrived quietly, carrying only a slim leather folder and an air of calm that didn't belong in a room built on noise. The master of ceremonies, a pale man with a practiced grin, leaned toward the woman beside him. "Who let her in?" he whispered. She smiled tightly, whispering back, "Victoria Hale will handle it." Victoria, the night's host and CEO of Hale Capital, noticed her immediately. Her expression shifted from curiosity to contempt. She glided across the marble floor, each step echoing through the chamber. "Excuse me," Victoria said sweetly, eyes cold. "This section is reserved for executive partners." The woman looked up, voice steady. "I know." Victoria's smile tightened. "Then you're in the wrong seat." "No," the woman said, folding her hands. "I'm exactly where I should be." A murmur ran through the crowd. Victoria tilted her head. "Name?" "Celeste Grant, Celeste," Victoria repeated, pretending to search her memory. "I don't recall inviting a Celeste Grant. Are you someone's assistant?" Celeste's gaze didn't move. "Not tonight," laughter rippled. Victoria's tone sharpened. "Then I'll have security confirm your credentials." "These events are private." "You may," Celeste replied softly. "You'll find my clearance is higher than yours." The jab landed so quietly that half the crowd didn't catch it. The other half did, and leaned closer. Victoria smirked. "Higher than mine." "Darling, I own this gala," Celeste raised an eyebrow. "Ownership and control aren't the same thing." A hush fell. Victoria blinked, unamused. "You have 10 seconds to stand before I make this public." Celeste's calm was unnerving. "You already have." Security arrived, 2 guards in suits, confused but obedient. Victoria gestured grandly. "Escort Ms. Grant to the lobby. She doesn't belong here." One guard hesitated. "Ma'am, the guest list, now!" she barked. Celeste rose, her chair sliding back with measured grace. The guards approached, but before they could touch her, a young assistant from the registration desk hurried forward, whispering frantically in Victoria's ear. Victoria's expression flickered. "That's impossible," she muttered. The assistant stammered. "Her credentials. She's cleared under priority level 1. Victoria frowned. "Only board executives have—" The realization struck like lightning. Her eyes darted to the folder in Celeste's hand, the same folder bearing the embossed seal of Argent Equity Holdings, the investment group behind every contract Hale Capital relied on. Celeste's voice carried across the room. "I tried to enjoy the evening quietly." "You insisted on spectacle." Victoria's tone hardened. "Don't play games." "You might have connections, but this is my event." Celeste stepped closer, her calm now cutting. "You assume too much. You assume I wanted to be here. You assume you can measure worth by proximity to wealth. And you assume, wrongly, that you can humiliate someone without consequence." The crowd fell silent. Victoria laughed, high and brittle. "Is this your little speech?" She lifted her glass and poured champagne slowly onto Celeste's folder. "Consider it a reminder to stay in your lane." The gasp was audible. Cameras flashed. Celeste didn't flinch. She simply said, "Protocol 7." The words were soft, but they detonated the room. Within moments, phones across the gala began buzzing. Notifications cascaded. Screens went red. Whispered confusion spread like fire. Victoria's assistant rushed to her side, face pale. "Ma'am, our accounts are freezing. Wire transfers, everything." "What?" "Global servers just locked." Argent Equity activated oversight control. Celeste set the damp folder on the nearest table. That's my company. And this, she gestured around the glittering room, is your audit. Panic rippled. Executives checked their devices, each one seeing the same message. Contract suspended pending review by Celeste Grant, Chairwoman, Argent Equity Holdings. Victoria's hand shook. This isn't possible. Celeste turned to her. It is. You just didn't think power could look like this. She walked to the podium, her heels silent on marble. The microphone squealed, then steadied under her control. Good evening, she said, her tone effortless, composed. I am Celeste Grant, majority partner in Argent Equity and architect of the $6.8 billion bailout Hale Capital signed last quarter. Gasps, phones recorded. No one moved, Celeste continued. Tonight I was reminded why arrogance is the most expensive habit in business. It convinces the powerful that respect is optional. She paused. It isn't. The silence was suffocating. Even the music had stopped. Victoria stumbled forward. You can't just destroy my company over a misunderstanding. Celeste turned to her. I'm not destroying it. I'm revealing it. Your numbers, your board ethics, your hiring patterns, they're built on exclusion. This isn't punishment. It's exposure. She handed her phone to the media director. You'll find the full report time-stamped and verified. Publish it. Security didn't move this time. They stood still, listening. Victoria's voice broke. Please, I didn't know who you were. Celeste's eyes softened just enough to make it worse. That's the point. You should have treated me with respect even when you didn't. She turned to leave, her steps measured and final. The crowd parted like a confession, their silence louder than applause. By dawn, Hale Capital collapsed under the weight of its arrogance. No interviews, no statements, just one quote spreading across headlines. Respect isn't a courtesy to the powerful. It's the foundation that keeps power legitimate. Boardrooms framed it. Schools taught it. The world finally understood. And as Celeste looked out over the skyline she now controlled, she whispered to herself, real power doesn't shout. It simply ends the conversation and everyone listens. If you believe respect is the true measure of power, stand with us. Like this video, share it everywhere, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from and what moment struck you hardest. Subscribe now and turn on notifications for more stories where arrogance falls and justice speaks.